This one is significantly louder than the R1. Welcome to the Better Buy, where I give you the information you need on the stuff that you want so you can make the better buy. In this video, we're talking about the ArboLeaf and the R1 by Roll Recovery. These are two massager guns that are more similar than you think, but they do not live up to their promises. However, because I think that the rest of the market is probably around the same, I'm going to be keeping the R1, even though it is almost twice the price. Actually, it is twice the price, and I'll talk about why in just a little bit. The main thing is this. They each have 4 speeds, and their speeds are basically the same. I mean, the differences are a non-issue. But this one gives you significantly more time while using the gun. The battery lasts longer than this one. This battery is supposed to be 2200 mAh, milliamps per hour, and this one is supposed to be 2000 milliamps per hour. But in my test, when this one was at full speed, I regularly only got about an hour and 5 to an hour and 7 minutes out of it, and then it would die. The R1 is lasting me somewhere between an hour and 45 to 2 hours, give or take a few minutes. And what that tells me, number one, is you're getting 40 more minutes. Now, you are paying, double the price for 40 more minutes. But what was interesting is if you drop them to the second level, so they each have 4 levels, if you go to the second level, this one still dies around an hour and 17 minutes, an hour and 15 to 17 minutes regularly. I tested that several times. This one went over 2 hours and still didn't die. And then I stopped testing because I decided this is the one that I'm going to keep. So you're getting a significant battery increase in this one. You are paying for it, but what I believe is you're also getting a much better product, because while they both promise to be quiet, they are not the same in their noise. So let's talk about them. First off, I want you to see the similarities between the two, because this is simply basically a manufacturing thing. Like, they are almost identical. They both come with the same style bag, okay? You can see they have almost the exact same lacing or whatever. The material feels the same. This one's a little bigger and has a little stamp on it, but that's really the only difference, okay? They obviously both have their instructions. But when you look at the boxes, they each come with a USB-C connector charger. The ArboLeaf comes with a white one, and the R1 comes with a black one. The ArboLeaf one looks a little more robust, but I don't know how much that would actually play a role in longevity or stuff like that, so not too much of an issue. Now, when you look at them, you can see very similar between the two. They've got essentially all the same heads on them, or the same tips. Let's start with just these two, because here's the thing. These tips are so similar, I have to be careful pulling them out and not mixing them up, all right? Like, check this out. This is so crazy. You can see here, like, they are identical in essentially every way. From studying all of the tips, the only main differences is the small little bit of rubber. There's tiny differences in where the rubber edges are, but other than that, they are identical. Like, if you look at these two, you can see they're the exact same. Okay? So it's fascinating to me that something that is twice the price is basically the exact same. These two are slightly more different than the other ones, just like in the way that they're designed. This one has a little bit more of a narrow, the R1 is smaller than the ArboLeaf. I don't know how much I care about that, but it is what it is. So that's kind of what you're getting there. And then the last one here, this is where they have a pretty big difference, and that's that this one has a silicone head, which I actually really like the silicone head on this one versus the foam tip. The reason that I like the silicone head is, like, if you want to put lotions or things like that, you can do that really easily. So that's a nice plus. If that's a reason that you're getting a massager gun, then I would recommend considering that for the difference, okay? Now, those are the tips. Let's talk about the actual guns for a second. And for this, I'm going to put on these heads so you can kind of see how this plays out. So the main thing is they essentially turn on and function the exact same way, all right? They are, I mean, you can see the similarities and differences between the two here. So this one is significantly weightier than the ArboLeaf. Not much, just a little, well, gosh, it's pretty, yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. The R1 is definitely like a heavier item. But in the hands, I think they're going to both feel pretty comfortable. I thought I wouldn't like this textured grip that much, but it's not that big of a deal. I do think I prefer the smooth one, but it's all okay for now. The bottoms, you can see the ArboLeaf turns to plastic, whereas the R1 maintains that nice solid metal. So I think that's where you can see like they're cutting a little more bit in the corners with this one than the R1 is. Okay. Now, if you turn them both on, you just hold down to turn them on. Okay. This one is significantly louder than the R1. I'm going to hold it up. Now you're really going to notice the difference when we go to the next level. The R1 maintains a much quieter noise level. You could almost not even tell that the R1 increased in speed, by the volume at least. And then now on that one, the R1 got louder, but still quieter than the ArboLeaf. They're both vibrating pretty heavily, obviously. I feel like, I mean, I think it's basically the same as far as the vibration goes. So now the ArboLeaf does have one more setting that's like a pressure setting. So as you push in, it increases in pressure. I didn't find that to be something that I used regularly, so it wasn't a big deal. One thing that's nice is that the R1 gives you 15 minutes of runtime before it stops. The ArboLeaf only gives you 10, so you have to keep restarting this one more often. The other thing is that when the R1 stops, you just press the button and it goes and it keeps going. It doesn't actually turn all the way off at first. The ArboLeaf turns off completely, and then you can get back into it. So the main thing that I'm deciding here, the reason that I'm keeping the R1 over the ArboLeaf, is because I believe the quality of manufacturing is higher inside of this one. And I believe that over the long run, this is actually going to last longer, not just like in time of use, but like in years of use. I'm concerned that this one is just not up to the same standards of production. And as a result, maybe like a year from now, it's dead, whereas this one keeps going for another 2 years. So that's something to consider. Obviously, you could get 2 of these for the price of 1 of these. So consider that as well if you're trying to figure that out. I think that it's an interesting little difference there. Some people are going to say that, well, you should just get 2 ArboLeafs, then you got 2 and you can always keep one charged and rotating. I don't think that's actually a bad idea. Like, that's something that I considered when I was going through all of this. But at the end of the day, I think I'm going to be happier with the R1 over the long run. So that's what I'm going to stick with. So I hope that this helped you. It doesn't mean you have to make the same buying decision that I made, but the goal is to give you the information to make your own buying decision on the stuff. I think this one is still a great gift. I mean, you're getting an hour to an hour and 15 minutes of runtime on this. Just understand that that's what you're going to be getting. It's not 7 hours or 8 hours, but this one is also only getting an hour and 45 minutes and then plus, I don't know how many more, but certainly not 7 to 8 hours. Maybe in the absolutely lowest setting, you're getting 7 hours, but I mean, the lowest setting is still a pretty good massage. So I could see why, that might be worth something, but overall, I'm definitely going to be happier with the R1, and that is why this is the one that I'm going to be keeping. So just wanted to share all of this with you guys to help you if you're trying to make a buying decision on these little massager guns, and that's pretty much it. So hope this helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.